Salute, MobTube. How's everybody doing today? I started early. We have 4 people. It's all right. I am having a busy day as usual. So I have to rush. I figured the earlier I could start this show, the better. Maybe we'll get an hour in or something, and then I have to roll. But I wanted to do one of these today. Now we're down to 2 people. 12. All right, now we're up to 12. I guess we're moving along. Dave, Miss Can't Be Wrong, Chad McDonough, Albaz, Addie's mom, Violator. I'm assuming if your comments are getting deleted, it's because you're doing something wrong. Let's see, who else? War, salute, my friend. Robert B, Joe Root, hey now. Jesse Roth, all right, no problem, Jesse. Frankie Cicero, who else? Muggsy Siegel. Hey now, she's a lot better than yesterday. As a matter of fact, I'm going to tell you something funny in a little bit. She's doing okay today, though. Let's see. 24 people. Joe Root, member for 10 months. Thank you, sir. This is going to take a while, probably. I started 15 minutes early, and, these shows don't get a lot of people. You know how it goes. I always say that, like you guys don't know. We get about 100 tops. Sometimes only 60. It's all right, though. I would do these shows for 3 people. I don't care. 1 person. Miss Charlie Steen, how are you? Oh, okay, Violator. Well, thank you, man. I appreciate that. It means a lot to me, all the support and stuff. Yeah, yesterday was a terrible day, as you guys saw last night. I was like Tony Soprano, like, oh, fuck, he's crying again. It's a mess. It was a bad day, bad night. But today is a little bit better. Mine and my mom's spirits have both been lifted a little bit. I will tell you why in a little bit. Off topic, but real quick, I edited that portion you spoke out of my video. What are you talking about, Jesse? What portion? What do you mean? Out of what video? I'm so confused. Thank you, Addie's mom. Going back up through the comments here. No beer, drink water, keep hydrated. Yeah, in the words of Anthony Arlotta, drink water, fatso. Yeah, it's brutal, man. I don't know where everybody else is at, what the weather's like. I don't, I don't watch the weather and know what it's like in different regions. I couldn't care less. I barely care what it's like here, but it's hot as a motherfucker. That's my forecast for the rest of this week. Hot as a motherfucker. It's got to be somewhere around 392 degrees out there. It's brutal. Very brutal. But I'm not one to exaggerate. Even in the car, it's like, thank God, with the new car, I could start it from the phone. I could start it from my phone, you know what I mean? And just let it cool down because it's a mess. Violator, I never want to hear someone, even if I have issues with them, going through what you're going through right now. Well, thank you, Violator. And, it's funny you say that because I was saying that last night about even my worst enemies. I wish death on them before I wish death on somebody in their family. And these people are wishing death on my mother. It's really sick. And even my worst enemies, I wouldn't want to see them suffer like this. You know what I mean? Because there's a lot of reasons. You could hate somebody with a passion, but somebody's dying, somebody they love very much, and they're not the only ones that love them. Like people people talk about my mother because they don't like me. Well, what about the other people who are going to lose her? Do you hate my daughter? Has she done something personal to you? How about my brother, who you've never seen or spoken to, just like you've never seen or spoken to my daughter? How about Shanna? Has Shanna ever really did anything to hurt you? How about my stepkids? Very close with my mother. You don't feel for them either. I understand you're not feeling for me. You hate me, whatever. I would feel for you either way, but it's the other people. It's like, wow, these people are very small minded and hateful. They're full of anger and rage, and I don't know why. Something about me really bothers them, but that's for another time. Nah, not yet, Tony Ducks. I'm gonna tell you the truth, bro. The way the last couple of weeks have been, I'm just not doing many shows, and the shows I'm doing, like last night's, I'm not entertaining people. That's why I say, don't even worry about donating during those shows when I'm just sitting here crying like a little bitch and talking about my fucking problems. So I haven't been making much money. So I'm not going to be spending much either. You know what I'm saying? No new polo, no new sneakers. Be chilling for a while till things get back on track. Plus you gotta understand too that I I'm gonna I don't know when exactly, but me and Shanna are fully aware of the fact that we're gonna have some expenses coming up, you know, in the near future. A lot of expenses. So we got to chill. But I did get a quote, Tony Ducks. It's 350. I'll get it done eventually. I don't care. I'm so happy with the car. It don't matter. I'll get it done eventually. But I see cars. I see cars just like mine every day. Not just that color. The other day though, I was behind one with the windows tinted. It was sick. The same exact car as mine. I've seen a black one with blacked out windows. Look crazy. Loved it. I saw a gunmetal gray one. I think that's it. But that car comes in a lot of colors. A lot. Tinted windows can change the whole appearance of a car, just like rims. Just like rims. What do we got? 47? All right, we'll start talking about addiction and recovery shortly. I promise you that. Let me say goodbye to my wife. Do you mind? Sorry, guys. It's very early in the show, but I want to say goodbye to her. I'll be right back. All right. Just wanted to give her a kiss goodbye. Uh, no, 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 no. No front. No, no, no. No, the door windows on the back. That's it. Yeah, no front. I put in a request for a quote like a week ago with this place because I looked at reviews and it's very popular in this area and all the reviews are great. And I didn't even realize it till about 2 days ago, but they had gotten back to me with a quote. It was 350, so it's not bad. I mean, I remember the last car I got the windows tinted on. Jesus, it was probably in the 90s, and I think it was like I don't know 200 then. So and matter of fact, on that car, I think I only got the three back windows. So not bad. All right, let me see. Yeah, Violator, I don't know. I mean, I don't think I've ever seen you before, so I don't know what you may have done in the past or if anybody has an issue with you. I don't know, but I appreciate the kind words. So let's get started. We'll start off because I know, last night I probably had some people worried. Nah, not here, Tony Ducks. Pennsylvania is a motherfucker, bro. No, yeah, there's a lot of window tinting laws. I don't know exactly what they are with the front, but I know nobody gets the front here, so there's got to be a good goddamn reason. Um, I'm sure it's something I knew at one time when I was into all that car shit, but I don't know now. I gotta check. Yeah, they don't. Uh, yeah, it is Tony Ducks. It is. That's what I thought. I was expecting five, honestly. Um, And it's funny too because I just got a check the other day from the car I traded in for the new car. They sent us a $35 check a while ago, and then just the other day I got a check for $392. So I was like, "That's cool." And I was actually going to use that money to tint the windows, but not now. Anyway, uh, oh, nice, Miss Campione. Yeah, I feel you, Albaz. All right, today was funny. I talked to my mom for a little while. Oh, all right, Tony Dogs. Yeah, fuck that. I don't. Nope. I want no attention from police ever. Um, just in case, even if it is legal here, I don't. And I doubt it is. So I was talking to my mom for a little. Let me start out like this. Last night, DJ Kaz sent me something. Now, as you guys know, he's a med tech in a hospital. He's seen a lot of shit, and he still does every day. Uh, He actually sent me this before, but I don't know. Maybe I was too distraught to look at it. I don't know why I didn't. I wish I would have when he first sent it. But I looked at it today or last night. I'm sorry, and it's something called Barostim. Barostim. Tony Ducks. I know you'll be doing research on this. Thank you, Jeff Nadeau. Thank you very much. Awesome news with the Joey Molino stuff. If you guys didn't see, go check out Jeff Nadeau's stream about Joey Molino's new podcast. Never thought I'd be saying those words, but yeah. So anyway, uh, this thing is called Barostim, right? And I sent it to my mom. I forwarded it to her on her phone. Forwarded it. Sorry, and she looked into it. And there's like a little quiz you take to see if you qualify. Not a quiz. You know what I mean? There's a bunch of qualifiers. You got to answer a bunch of questions to see if you qualify. She answered the questions, and she qualifies. Okay. Now, she spoke to a coordinator today, I think. Yeah, to set up an appointment. Apparently, I don't know if there's only a handful of doctors in the country that do this, but the ones she found were in South Carolina, a couple in Texas, and one in Orlando. This is a device for heart failure patients, specifically people in late stages of heart failure, that can not only extend their lives, I should say, but you know, get them back to functioning normally, like as if they didn't have heart failure, or back to where they were before the heart failure got um, very, very serious in its late stages. I never knew about this thing. I know about it now. It does give me some feeling of hope. I looked. It might be Deganey. I'll check. My mom has the info. It gives me a little bit of hope because it's another possibility. Now, I hope it is. She's got an appointment for a webinar with the guy in South Carolina in the beginning of next month. Now, there's one in about a week and a half with the doctor in Orlando. So I told her, don't worry about distance. I'll fly you to Orlando. I don't care. You know what I mean? We'll do whatever we have to do. You got to be in the hospital a couple of days. I'll either stay with you or get a room, whatever. If it gets to the point where you can really have this procedure. Anyway, she has a webinar, or she's going to learn more, but they're going to call her tomorrow, I guess, and fill her in on some more stuff and give her time to ask questions and all that. So I looked into it all day and late last night, and it's a real thing. I mean, it has helped and saved a lot of people. I think it was approved. I think it was approved by the FBI and goodbye. Approved by the FDA. Jesus fuck. You know, it's on my mind at all times. 2020, it was approved by the FDA. Right? Uh, so I looked up the cost and all that stuff. You know, I think I have that all figured out. You know, Medicare covers most of it. The other, cost that's out of pocket, but whatever. So it looks like a good option and possibility. So we're very, very, very optimistic about that. The only problem is, the wheels move so slowly um, that you never know. It could be 6 months till they're able to give it to her, which that might be too late. So I don't know. I don't know. But my mom's feeling better today, and when she's having a good day, I'm having a good day. But hopefully, we find out some good news about this device. It's a life saving thing. So I would think, I would hope things go a little bit quicker with getting this done. But it seems like a real possibility. So that makes me happy. Uh, some people in here seem to know something about this stuff. Let's see. This can't be wrong. Heard of it? Brostem device? I guess so. I don't know. It helps heartbeat. Yeah. Um, yeah. Anyway, I don't want to bore you guys with too much of that, but we'll see what happens. And listen. Honestly, I had a very long conversation with my mother last night and one today, and again, even if none of these things are a possibility, she's come to accept uh, the reality of what could be coming, and the fact that it could be coming very soon. And that gives me a little peace. Of course, it's still a nightmare of mine to lose her, but what can I do? If she's at peace and happy, then I guess that's all I can ask for. But hopefully, like I said, there'll be some intervention with a new device or something, and she'll have some more years here with us. Anyway, before we get on to addiction and recovery, um, I was talking to Don Berlin about this Barostim thing, and I told you guys this man is brilliant. You could bring up anything, just ask him about anything, and he'll fucking have the answers for you. Ask him about how TVs work. Ask him about fucking air conditioners. Ask him about anything. He has the answers. And he told me what his thoughts are on this thing, and I said, you know what, Don, do me a favor. I'm downstairs. My mom's upstairs in her bedroom. Let me call my mom, on three-way, and you could talk to her a little bit, give her your thoughts on this stuff. Because I know Don has got that way of like lifting your spirits and stuff. He's got a good sense of humor. He's a funny guy and just a brilliant man. So we called my mom on a conference call, and we spoke for about, I'm not sure, but I'm going to say somewhere around 2 hours, 2.5 hours. Very long conversation. Of course, my mom and Don Berlin got along very, very well. And, she told him everything the doctors told her and how she feels about the whole thing. And he told her, what his thoughts were on it. It was very nice. And, they told each other stories about their lives. And, of course, they discussed me a little bit, which was slightly uncomfortable. But my mom did make it clear to Don that I was an absolute lunatic, and I used to run around armed, and I was trouble. And I could just see Don going, "Oh, fuck," he was telling the truth. So, it was a nice phone conversation. It was. She was in a very good mood afterwards too, and she said, she could talk to him all day. So it went well. And then I had to pick my stepson up from the weight room at school, and here I am. So, Sally, $10. I can't wait to listen to the beginning. I know this is addiction recovery, but choose to donate. Oh, well, thank you, Sally. Yes, I do not ask for donations on these shows, but I certainly won't turn them down either. Especially not right now. Yeah, how bad it is, man. Hey, Don, how does a nuclear reactor work? You know, Don is not in the country right now. He's far, far away, very, very, very far away. So he can't join this stream. But I guarantee if I called him right now, you want me to call him right now and see if he could explain? Let me see. Let me do it this way. Wait a minute. Yeah, do it like this. Hold on, just Don.
Hold on. Yes.
I am live right now. It's the Addiction and Recovery Show.
Yes.
I was Are you available for a minute?
I am, but I can't get on like YouTube. It's blocked from
No.
where I am.
No. It's all good. You're on. You know, they could hear you.
Oh, okay.
I was telling them about how, you know, we had a discussion with my mom and all that stuff. You guys talked for a while. And I was saying to them what I always say about you, that you could ask Don anything about anything and he'll know the answer. So Tony Ducks wants to know how a nuclear reactor works.
Oh, boy. You put a nuclear reactor on the ground, you build it, and you put stuff in it, and it reacts.
There you go. The simple answer.
Yeah, exactly. Basically, you have centrifuges, and then you have plutonium and other kinds of things in it. Kind of like you need heat, you need water. You stir that all around, and next thing you know, you got lights.
Yeah, I am.
That's the short answer.
There you go.
I'm sorry, Tony. I can't give you the lowdown. And the prefatory comment that I know a lot of stuff is not true. It just happens that the kind of things that you ask me about are something I know a little bit about.
I have never asked you anything, Don, that you don't know the answer to. Never.
Well, that's very kind of you, but it's not true.
Why is it so fucking hot right now? Do you know?
Because the sun is out. When the sun goes down, it gets cold.
Very simple answer. All right, Don. I thought just for a laugh.
No, I mean, how hot? It's not that hot there. I mean, it's 119 degrees here. So please don't complain.
All right, then I shouldn't bitch.
Turn up the air conditioning. Yeah. Stop whining and complaining. Or take your clothes off.
That's also the simple answer.
Tell people to suck on an ice cube.
All right, Don. I'll talk to you later. I'm gonna get back to addiction and recovery.
All right, take care. Bye-bye.
All right, thanks. Oh, you gotta love Don. Shit, you do the hokey pokey, yeah. That's the scientific explanation. I stumped him. I think you might have stumped him, Tony Ducks. I think so. But I have a feeling that if he was on the show right now, he would probably give him. He would have probably given a more in-depth, detailed answer. But I could be wrong. Maybe he just doesn't know. But I'll tell you right now, there's nothing I've ever asked this dude that he can't give me a very in-depth, detailed answer to. Never. It's astonishing. It really is. So anyway, there you go. Audio appearance from Don Berlin. Are you really, D. Gainey? Do you have to go, what is it, 1 gigawatts? How many gigawatts? I forget. 66 miles an hour, right? 1.21 gigawatts? Is that what it was? I forget. Well, thank you, Violator. I appreciate that. Me and Don and my mom wound up in a discussion about faith and religion and atheism and all that. It was quite funny. Me and Don had a little debate. We had a little debate for my mom. My mom's in the background laughing. And I said, Mom, tell him. Have I been a good debater my whole life? Have I been kind of a master when it comes to arguing and stuff? And she said what she had told me a while ago. She said, Don, his whole life, anytime he got in an argument, I would sit back and think, he must have thought this argument out before it had taken place, and thought of 50 different ways to come back, to at the person. He had an answer for everything. I said, yes, I did. 1.21 gigawatts, 88 miles per hour, true story. 88? I thought it was 66. Are you sure? Or is that what yours is going to have to go 88 maybe? A friend of mine took theology in college, told me he believed till then. Well, see, that's why, and I don't want to get on this. We're going to get to addiction recovery, but atheism is the fastest growing, I don't even know how I put this. It's growing faster than any religion is, for quite some time now, for years now. And the reason is because people have, yes, that's one, Sally, and people have the internet now. You can ask questions. You can find out about things. You can put two and two together. So a lot of people are becoming atheists. Anyway, Octavia, sorry, regards. Your mom, stay strong, serenity prayer. You okay, guy? Yeah, I'm all right. Thank you, Octavia. I'm better today than I was yesterday. All right, so addiction and recovery, guys. Let's get on it. We were talking about me and my mom with Don were talking about our addictions, and Don has been sober since 1989, long time. I, of course, have a little over 4 years. And we were reminiscing a little bit when my mom was telling him what it was like. There was times when, this is early on when I was, much younger, I'd be out of my mind. I'd be on the coke and the alcohol. You mix the two, you get all fucked up, you black out. She was telling Don that, like, I would call her from places and tell her that, the police are chasing me, shit like this, and where she has to come pick me up, and then I wouldn't be there. And she'd be frantic, and she'd be driving around all night looking for me. And that didn't make me feel good, because, again, you got to remember that I think that I truly do blame myself for many of my mom's heart problems. So at a time like this, that hurts a little, but it's something I need to hear, I didn't even remember that. I never remembered that, doing that stuff. But that's just the thing. When you're in a blackout, you don't remember, and that's what's so fucking dangerous about it. When you're in a blackout, obviously I can't tell you, oh, you can think clearly or you can't. Obviously you can't think clearly, but I can't even tell you whether or not you have any capability of making a decision, good or bad, because I'm in a blackout. You know what I mean? Every time, like, in other words, I was blacked out, so I wouldn't know. You know what I mean? There's never going to be a time in my life where I could say, oh yeah, during a blackout, this is the way you think, or this is what you're capable of, or you aren't capable of. I don't think anybody will ever be able to tell you, because when they're experiencing it, they're in a fucking blackout. Okay? And the things I did during these blackouts, I mean, Jesus Christ. My daughter's mother called me once, because she, for all the people that think I was this horrible guy and my daughter hated me and stuff, when I moved, after me and her broke up, after about a year, I moved to my own apartment on West Poplar Street in West York, PA. My daughter's mother bought a house across from me, maybe 2-3 houses down. So literally across the street, 50 feet from me, if that. Okay. So she, she wasn't out like I was out. My daughter's mom, she worked, and, she had 2 jobs. She worked from home and she worked, another job, super professional. And she didn't hang out on the block, at all. But you hear things, you know what I mean? And if I'm calling you in a fucking blackout and saying, hey, come outside, this is going on or this is going on, then she's witnessing it, whatever, you know what I mean? Point is, there was times when she'd call me and tell me that I did some wild shit in the neighborhood. She'd tell me the next day. And not only would I not have any idea, but let me tell you, and for those of you who have, that's actually funny, Violator, so I'm going to let it slide. No question you're a good debater, you fucking prick, LOL. But seriously, well wishes for your mom and yourself. Thank you. I actually don't mind that comment. What was I saying? Oh, fuck me. Violator, you fucked me all up. What was I saying? Oh, not only is it terrifying to know uh, that you were in a blackout to the point where you did something you now can't remember, but depending on what you're told you did, like for instance, if it was a crime, uh, especially a serious crime, the type of fear that hits you is unfucking believable because now you don't know what's gonna happen. There's a clip. I think it's on TikTok or YouTube Shorts, something. Maybe it's on all of them. I don't fucking know. It's a kid. Uh, he's in a police station. Okay, and you could tell he's completely well. He it looks like he's coming out of what was a complete and total drunken state. He's starting to. He's still under the influence though, and the officer approaches him. It might have even been two of them, and they said, you're going to be locked up. You killed somebody tonight in a car accident. And when he says it, I wish I had that fucking video to show you. But when he says it, you could see this feeling of total and complete fear come over his face. And of course it would. I mean, uh, you'd go into instant shock. I would think you just killed a human being, you know. But what makes it even worse is that he couldn't remember. He had no idea he did that, and that's what a fucking blackout is. That's what it is. I mean, I would fucking wake up all the time, and I would be the minute I opened my eyes and I realized that I don't remember anything for the entire night before. It's a fucking feeling of fear that I can't even describe. It's like, oh my god, what did I do? Did I hurt somebody? Did I hurt somebody I hate? Did I hurt somebody I love? Did I break the law in some different way? Was I arrested? Did I get a DUI? Where's my car? Where's my keys? Where and you're fucking frantically calling people hoping that they know something or they could fill you in on the night before. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. I never want to feel that again, ever. Um, Brian Morrison, 9.99 super sticker. Thank you very much. And Miss Can't Be Wrong is so on point that she actually texted me. Brian Morrison, 9.99 pounds equals 12.49 USD. You are amazing, Miss Can't Be Wrong. You are. You definitely are. And I appreciate you. So, no. It's absolutely true, Miss Can't Be Wrong. No one is. That's what makes this so hard. But it just my mom and Don talking about that stuff today really brought some of that shit back, and I was like, I remember one incident where I did get in some trouble. I actually assaulted somebody, and I was at a friend's house on West Market in York City, and I took off, and I was running from block to block. I don't remember calling her. I don't even know if this was one of those times that she was speaking of. It's just that when I heard her say it, it happened to bring this to mind. I remember bits and pieces of running around York City, not knowing what to do. And I had left all my money and shit at my friend's apartment. I had no money in my pocket. There was no way I could do anything. Plus, I was starting to go into alcohol withdrawal. Okay. And there's bars around, but I have no money and I don't have my fucking wallet on me or nothing else. And it was pure misery. And I was out there for fucking hours. And I guess eventually someone picked me up, but I don't remember who or where. So it is really fucking. This is why, like even now, this is without a doubt. When my mom passes, it's going to be not only the saddest thing probably to have ever happened to me in my life, or at least one of them. I'd say the most. Not only is it going to be Sorry, guys. I lost my train of thought completely. Oh, yeah. That's what I was going to say. Not only is it going to be one of the saddest things, or let's be honest, I've been through some bad shit, but nothing like losing her. I never really lost. I never lost a parent. I never lost a child. So yeah, I think it's fair to say it'll be the worst thing that ever happened to me in my fucking life up to this point. And not only is it that, but it's the first tragedy I'll have faced since I got clean and sober. So, it's definitely uh, a scary thing because I've said to you guys before, uh, that anytime I really like when I would get clean, or even uh, not 100% clean. I mean, there was a couple of times where I was a year clean, 2 years clean, whatever. I don't know if I ever made it 2 years. I made it more than a year. I don't remember the exact time, so I don't want to say two, but um, you know, there was times like that where I was completely clean, where I relapsed because of something bad happening, and there's also times where I wasn't completely clean and sober, but I was drinking rarely. You know what I mean? Rarely, rarely. I mean, I'm talking about times where, like, let me think of the period, like 2008, 2009, 2010. I was working a great job. I had a girlfriend that I was wouldn't say I was in love with, but I loved. Okay. Me and my daughter were closer than ever. Uh, I had a new apartment, a new car. Everything was going well. But, I wasn't doing any cocaine. I wasn't selling drugs. I wasn't doing anything like that. I was just, we would drink. I would go out with her, my girlfriend, and we would drink. I've told this story a million times, sometimes once a week, sometimes just a couple of times a month, whatever. We'd pick certain nights, Saturday night maybe, depending on when I had off, because I usually work 6 days a week, and we would go out and drink. And I had been doing that for years, and then a tragedy struck, or not necessarily a tragedy, but something really horrible. Like during that time, I was pretty much, I had my. See, here's the thing. I don't know if you call it an addiction when you're like that. They say that if you're an alcoholic, you're always an alcoholic. But I will tell you, and I've told you before, there's been years of my life where I was just doing that. Years and years and years throughout, on and off, in my life where I could just drink. I could control it. I could just drink whenever I fucking felt like it. And I could drink even 2 days. Maybe I drink Friday and Saturday, and I wouldn't drink again until the following fucking month, a month from then, or 2 months, whatever. So I don't know if you call it an addiction then. So I don't know if I'd say I had my addiction under control, because I don't know. I don't know how that works. If you ask me, it wasn't an addiction at the time because I didn't need it. I didn't even necessarily want it. A lot of the time, I just went out to drink for her. Uh, anyway, that whole time, and I'm sorry if I'm getting all scrambled here. I'm doing my best to tell my stories here. I was doing well for, I'd say 4 years altogether, and then I fucking I lost that job. And when I lost that job, that was it. Then head first back into addiction. I was fucking, and then the reason was, well, there was a couple of things. I guess it was a cocktail of things. I was severely depressed because this fucking job was my life. It was my foundation. Well, my daughter was my life, but your job is your foundation because you can't provide for your daughter without it. You can't, or your family members, whoever. You can't provide a roof over their heads. You can't, you can't fill the fridge with food. You can't pay the utilities. You have nothing. So your job is always kind of your foundation if that's the only income you have, and that was the only income I had at the time. And when I lost that job, I fell into a severe depression right away. On top of that, Now, I did start looking for other jobs. I was looking for jobs in the same field, I guess you could say, basically factory work, manufacturing specifically, and um, I was trying to find something around the same pay with the same type of schedule, and I wasn't finding anything, and I wasn't getting anything. And then once I realized, that wasn't going well, my brain went to where my brain always goes when there's money problems, the street. You know what I mean? I was like, well, I I got X amount of dollars saved. I think at the time I might have had, I don't know, 4 or 5 grand saved. Okay, and there was no more money coming in unless I had gotten approved for unemployment. I wasn't even thinking about all that shit. So not at the time. I I called up a friend. I got a couple of pounds of lavender Kush, which was crazy for me because when I used to sell weed was just weed. All of a sudden, it has names like heroin does. And I got a couple of ounces of coke, and I trust me. I mean, within minutes of having the coke in my hand, I was doing it, and I was fucking nuts. I was getting high. I was running around the city. I was fucking with all different types of girls. I was fucking out of my mind. And uh, I was still, when my daughter was with me, I was clean as could be, but when she wasn't, that was another thing that would add to my depression. Anytime she left after being with me because we did week on, week off, I would instantly, get sad. You miss her, I would get into a little bit of a depression. I'd fall into that. But yeah, it was a mixture of the depression from losing the job. It was also, the fact that I couldn't find a new job. Um, then I started selling drugs, and the drugs were in my hands. And that's what led me to just fall completely back into addiction. But I did pretty well. I paid my fucking bills. I took care of my daughter when I had her. I was clean and shit when she was with me. I was able to manage it for the most part until years later, and then it started to get fucking bad, and the heart thing happened and all that shit. And then everything changed after the heart thing. Everything changed. Uh, you know, I don't like getting into this too much, but I've told you guys that at a certain age, 15 years old, I let my daughter go live with her mother full time. Okay. One of the reasons was, there was a couple, obviously she's older now. She needs to be around her mom. She used to like to have her mom do her hair before school, all this shit. So I understood, but one of the main reasons was that after that heart thing, I just couldn't function anymore. I mean, she stayed with me for, a good bit after that. I don't know if I'd say, maybe a few months after that. I still had her week on, week off, but it was incredibly difficult for me because that first month or so, like I said, I mean, I could not function as a human being. My heart was too goddamn weak. I couldn't do any fucking thing. You know what I mean? Like, and I was on all these new medications, so like, I was sleeping too much, and I was just sick. I was very, very sick. Uh, it took a while before I started getting better. Anyway, me being verbose as usual, I took the longest way around the point. Sorry, it's just me. I talk too fucking much. Uh, the reason I told you all that is because those are some of the things that led me, you know, full bore back into addiction. I should say that's one of them. Another one was when me and my daughter's mom broke up, and I started drinking again real heavy, using coke real heavy, and I fucking a whole bunch of bad shit happened. I wound up being committed. You know what I mean? And it was mainly because of a tragedy that took place about 6 months before we broke up, and then the breakup, all that stuff, led me. Because I was doing okay, even when I was DJing for years, '99 and stuff. I had that seizure. When I got out of the hospital, I stayed clean for quite some time, a year and a half, something like that. And then, I would drink every now and then. And when I DJ'd, I would drink. It might have been, depending on the time, it was 3 nights a week, 4 nights a week, usually 2 nights a week, depends on where my DJ career was at the time. because you can't not drink. I mean, you can. I'm sure there's DJs that don't drink, but it's not easy not to, unless you're just not a drinker. But I was good. I kept it all under control. I provided a great living for my family. I was always there. Me and my daughter were constantly doing shit together. Me, her, and her mother. It was great. But then, there was a tragedy that took place, and then the breakup, and led me right back into it. So the point of all this is that now, for the first time, since I got clean and sober, there is an inevitable tragedy coming in the near future, and I'm fully aware of that. Tragedy is a trigger, as I just explained. It's definitely probably the number one leading cause of relapse, I would think. Tragedy, depression, things like that. And losing a loved one, There you go. So, there's a lot of people, I'm sure, a lot of you guys who probably worry about me because of that. And, I think there's a lot of my friends do. I think Don worries very much so about me relapsing throughout this, or when the time finally comes and my mother passes. I will tell you this, and I told you this before, and I know this is not something we're supposed to say one day at a time. I'm not going to relapse. Period. Not a chance. And that's why I was telling you what I was telling you in the beginning. That's why I won't relapse. All that stuff I told you, that fear of waking up, not knowing where you were, what the fuck you did the night before, who you might have hurt, some crazy text you sent out and alienated somebody close to you, some wild fucking insane phone calls you might have made. Who knows what the fuck you might have done in your blackout. And just that feeling of waking up and your eyes are fucking so goddamn dry you can barely open them, and your mouth is fucking dry because you're dehydrated, and you got that fucking taste in your mouth and that smell. You still smell like fucking stale liquor from the night before and all that shit. Never again. I hope. I mean, I can't say never, but I can tell you that where I am now, even though I'm getting close to facing a tragedy and will face one, I guess sometime in the near future, I have Shanna, I have my daughter, I have my stepkids, I have my brother, I have my friends, and I will not let them down, and I will not destroy myself after all this progress I made. I will not. It honestly isn't even a concern to me. I know it should be. It's not. It's not. I told you guys, I'm different than a lot of addicts, and I'm very fortunate that way. I actually have guilt over it. I told you guys, I actually feel bad for the fact that most of you guys struggle every day with the cravings and the temptations, and you have it on your mind a lot because a lot of you were mentally addicted to these things. I was not. I was an alcoholic who loved doing cocaine, mainly for the fact that the more cocaine I did, the more I could fucking drink, and the longer I could stay awake, and the more I could fucking party and all that shit. Don't get me wrong. I loved cocaine all by itself too, but that was a mental addiction only for me. The alcohol was the main addiction, and mainly because you suffer actual withdrawal. There's never a point in cocaine use where you need it. I told you that Pookie New Jack City shit, even with, crack, it's still cocaine. Where he's, sitting there and he's pouring sweat and he's shaking from the withdrawal. That's not a thing. There's never going to be a point in time, if you're doing cocaine or crack cocaine, that you're going to suffer a physical withdrawal. It just doesn't exist. Mental, yeah. Yeah. But my problem was the alcohol withdrawal. That's why I couldn't stop drinking. I could stop doing coke for a day at the time. I couldn't stop drinking. Not once I was back to that point where it was really, really severe. So, once I got physically detoxed, like I did in rehab, for example, this last time, it's been kind of an easy road for me. It has. Now, again, that's because of my circumstances. If you were to ask me, Chris, if you lived by yourself and, family relationships weren't doing well and you didn't have much money in your fucking pocket, and you were just working a regular job and didn't have much of a life outside of that, would you still be clean and sober? I would almost definitely answer hell fucking no. I would no. No. If I had nothing to live for, no, I would not be clean and sober. And that's probably wrong. I mean, it's definitely wrong. But that's just me. You know what I mean? So if circumstances were different and I lost my mother, could I say with confidence that I'm not going to relapse? Fuck no. Not a chance in hell. The only reason I can say that with confidence is because I know how much Shanna loves me. I know how much my stepkids and my daughter love me, and my brother and my friends. I have, one in particular. He's been my best friend back to a very young age, going back to a very young age. Well, our teens, We were always there for each other, no matter what. It's because I have these people in my life and all this, this I want to say luck. I don't like the word blessings, but I don't know. All these good things in my life, like this. There was years where I dreamed about making money with my goddamn words because I'm a good talker. If anybody denies that, okay, you're just fucking lying through your teeth. I'm a good talker. That's why I've never ever had a job interview. I don't think where I didn't get the job. What I was saying in during those years when I was looking for one, I just wasn't even getting calls. It was just a bad time to be looking for a fucking job. But as far as job interviews, once I get the interview, I get the job. Unless, it's my record or something that stops me. Otherwise, I could talk my way into a fucking job with no problem. You just got to give me a chance to talk to you. You know what I'm saying? There was years where I dreamed of it. That's why I listen to Stern so much. I listen to a lot of Howard Stern, and I say, I could do that, not the whole production with the fucking team and all. I don't know. That's a different story. That comes long down the road after you've proven yourself on the radio or something. But I mean, as far as talking and entertaining people and keeping some type of show going, I always knew I was capable of doing it. So I dreamed of it, and now I have it. To some extent. I mean, this isn't like I had a radio contract and I'm fucking talking 5 days a week or however many days a week. And I'm getting a huge paycheck every week. It's not like that. It depends on donations and stuff like that, how good things are going. But it's still the way I've made a living for over 2 years now. And it is a dream come true to an extent. It's a fucking nightmare too, but it's a dream come true. So I'd be throwing this away too. All the good fortune that's come my way, I'd be throwing it all away. And I'm not willing to do that. So that's one thing I always got to keep in mind is that when my mom does pass, whether it's tomorrow or a year from now, or she gets this thing and it's 5 years from now, whenever it is, I got to keep my shit together because I have too many people who depend on me, and I have you guys. And even this, when I hear Don, see, when I do these shows, I don't think that I'm helping anybody. I don't feel that way. I feel like I'm just talking. But when I get emails from people who say, you saved my life, or I don't even go to meetings anymore, I just watch these shows, or, you've kept me sober for X amount of time, or you helped me in some way. That's amazing. That's a dream come true. And Don, the way he describes these shows to me and how he feels they're helping people, that's amazing to me. You know what I mean? So when I listen to you guys and the emails and people like Don and people like Drager and different people like that who have gained something from these shows, it's not something I take lightly. Like, oh well, fuck them. I mean, yeah, it's been fun, but if I stop doing them, they'll just have to, find a different way or go without these shows. No. If I know I have something that's helping people, I'm not going to stop at all, no matter what. I don't care if it costs me money. I would still do these shows. So I can't. I don't have the option of breaking down. And I think it was Don or somebody said to me recently that that's why this has hit me so hard. That I'm crying so fucking much and I'm devastated and I'm lost and I'm asking question after question and I'm, trying to keep my hopes up even when I might be fooling myself a little bit and I'm looking for solutions and I'm trying to keep my mom here. I lost my train of thought again. Fuck was I saying? Sorry, guys, it happens. Try this sometime. You'll see. I don't remember. I remember I was saying that's why. I don't remember. Give me a second. I gotta fix this. Hold on. Jesus Christ. Why on an addiction and recovery show? Hold on. That's what I was getting at. That's why I'm so distraught over this. I'm not saying I wouldn't be in other circumstances, like if I was still using, but this is hitting me so hard, not just because I love my mother and I'm a loser, but because I've never really dealt with a tragedy with a clear head. I don't think I ever have. I don't even think I've ever handled uh, or been through a real sad life event, something that you might not call a tragedy, like losing that fucking job I love. There's a fucking spider here. It's just, um, I don't even think I've been through something like that. There was always some crutch, alcohol, cocaine, both, whatever. There was always something that I could use to dull the pain. You know what I mean? And there isn't now. I have no choice but to face this head on with a clear head and make good decisions for my family and for my mother. That's that's what I have to do, no matter what. And I'm prepared to do it because um, everything I have means so much to me that I can't handle it any other way. Because if I do, I'll put all that other stuff in jeopardy. I'm not willing to do that. So this is extra tough. I think it was actually a couple of people who pointed it out to me that that's why this is so tough for me, because I'm not every night sitting here and having a few drinks and killing the pain. I'm fucking. I have no choice, and I've had no choice for over 2 weeks now, but to live every day knowing that I'm experiencing the last days of my mother's life, and anytime I'm with her is going to be or is one of the last times I'm going to be with her. Every conversation we have, I know that that's one of the last conversations we'll ever have. You know, I have no choice but to deal with this. My mom and Shanna, I have to acknowledge and deal with the fact that, as close as they've gotten over the last few years, that's as close as they're going to get because there's no time left. You know, I have to deal with the fact that my daughter isn't going to have much more time with her grandmother, and my grandmother is going to miss key moments in my daughter's life. Like weddings. A wedding, hopefully. You know what I mean? I don't plan on there being more than one. A wedding, maybe grandchildren. Different things like that. Me even. I like, yeah. absolutely, Miss Can't Be Wrong. I like to think that maybe out of this, and I know, my enemies would be like, yeah, right, or you ain't going nowhere. You never know. You honestly never know. I would like to think that this will turn into something bigger at some point, and I believe it will. Um, and I have to deal with the fact that she's not going to see that, so I can make her proud, things like that. I have to deal with it with a clear head. I have no choice. I can't make the thoughts go away. So, you know, I did an interview I didn't tell you guys about. A lady from the UK got a hold of me about a month ago. And she is a writer. She writes for Rolling Stone and Elle magazine and a couple of smaller online things and smaller publications, magazines, whatever. But she writes for some big publications, big, organizations too. And she interviewed me for about 2.5 hours on the phone a few weeks ago. And she wanted to know everything. The story was going to be about what I've been through, on MobTube. The one time I got interviewed before, a whole bunch of other people did too. It's like they wanted to learn the story of MobTube, and then the fucking guy didn't wind up printing it anyway. And Rolling Stone, the whole fucking story got changed, and it was about just the mob guys. They knocked out all of the MobTube shit. They wouldn't even use the word MobTube in there. And I think there's liability reasons for that, all the crazy shit that goes on here. Now, I'm going to tell you the truth. By the time I got done telling this woman the story, and don't get me wrong, all of what I told her was not new to her. She had been watching. She probably still is watching. She might be watching right now. She had watched some pizza stuff, some Angel stuff, some of my stuff, SoFlo stuff, all that shit. She was fairly well versed on what goes on in MobTube, but she wanted to know my story going back to the beginning. And I told it to her. And by the time I was done telling her the story, I said, yeah, there's no fucking way that this is ever going to get printed. Like there's no fucking way they're ever going to be able to write this story. And I haven't heard from the woman since. Well, she texted me about 2-3 times after that and told me she'll let me know after she talks to her editor, all that stuff. I haven't heard back. Which is fine. I understand. It's probably a risky story to print. There's a lot of crazy shit that's happened here. There's liability, issues, You got to be careful what you say about each content creator. You can get sued, stuff like that, But my point in telling you that story is that there is interest in this. A lot of people might think, no, this is some small community nobody knows about. It is not true. This woman is a writer who writes about not mainly, but in part, she writes about YouTube communities and the things that go on within YouTube communities. And I've read some of her stories. There's some pretty crazy shit. And she found out about this. She watched for a while. She got a hold of me and we did an interview. And then she did a lot of writing while we were on the phone. I'll tell you that much. There was a lot of fucking notes to take. So my point is, people know about this shit. They're watching. And there is absolutely a chance this could lead to something bigger, not just for me, but for other content creators on here. So yeah, do I have some hope that it will? Yeah, if it doesn't, that's all right. I'll figure out a way to advance myself anyway. I always do. But I'm not going to give that up. I'm just not. I'm not going to give that up. I'm not going to give any of it up, even if it just stays the way it is and it never turns into anything bigger. It's just too much of a good thing. I'm in a very fortunate position here with my health. Working in that last factory I was in, not to mention the one before that, Syncreon, it was doing unbelievable damage to my fucking health. I'm not just saying that. It absolutely was. My doctors did not want me working. They did not, especially where I was working. And this was actually my way out of it. You know what I mean? And now I'm in a position where I get to make my own hours and do shows when I want and talk about what I want and share what I want. And it's turned into a fucking community. And I think everybody, even throughout all the bad things here, you have to see something good in it. I'm in a very fortunate position in my life. That's the point. I can come on here and make money and do this for a living. And it enables me to spend a lot of quality time with my mother, with my wife, my stepkids, my daughter, whoever, my brother, my friends. So I'm very fortunate. And I feel like this is my last chance as far as life goes. I feel like when I went to that rehab, that was it. I don't think I have another relapse left in me. I just don't. I think I'm going to drop fucking dead if I start back up again. Maybe not right away, but eventually. So I keep all these things in mind throughout this thing while I'm facing this tragedy, because it's like, can you give this all up? Is it worth it just to maybe make this horrible experience a little bit easier? No, I can't. I'm sure of that. I'm not sure of a lot, but I'm sure of that. So I think I'll be all right. I just wish everybody was as fortunate as me, because I told you a million times and I'll tell you a million more. A lot of you guys, I know your stories. People like War, for example, I admire very, very much. War has been through hell. He lost his beautiful wife. And now he just recently lost his mother. And I could be mistaken, but I'm pretty sure he lives alone. I'm sorry, War, if I'm giving out too much information here. But he stays clean and sober. And a lot of people do, and they don't have all the good fortune I have. So I don't look down upon people like that. I look up to them. I admire them. Because I have a much easier road, and I have since the day I walked into that rehab. It's just like, throughout my life, I always had survivor's guilt because I lost so many people who I felt were better than me. When Dink died, it was a fucking... I went through a lot, because I looked up to him. I was a great father at the time, but I still looked up to him for his performance as a father, the way he was with his kids, everything. The way, he was an entrepreneur. He was a smart kid that always knew how to make fucking money and lots of it. And he was a good person. He wasn't, a drug user or a drinker. And, he went through life with a clear fucking head. He was strong and he was a fighter, literally, both physically and mentally. And when he died, and he's just one of many, I felt a lot of survivor's guilt because I feel like me and a lot of scumbags around me, we wake up every morning. We get to do that. And so many great people don't. The people who are around me in the same crew. And I always wondered why, but I guess that's one of the great mysteries of life. It's kind of the same thing with this. I have a little bit of guilt that I have an easier road than a lot of you. So I have great admiration for you guys who are able to stay clean and sober when you got a lot more serious issues in life than I do. Thank you, Octavia. Paulie Walnuts, you the GOAT. Thank you, bro. Oh, you sent me Paulie Walnuts is a funny motherfucker, bro. I get it. You sent me a thing on Facebook, Floyd Mayweather. Paulie, I should play that, bro. Let me find. I gotta find your fucking text. Hold on. And by the way, Vinny Bracco sent some kind words through text here, and I want to thank you, Vinny. Thank you very much, bro, for your support. Listen to this, guys. Fucking Floyd Mayweather, greatest fighter of all time, but that motherfucker is illiterate as could be. Listen. Paulie Walnuts, you're a trip, bro.
I get paid. Like I said, if I get paid to kick, And I'm the best at what I do.
God damn it. Yes, you are.
Hands down.
God damn it. Yes, you are. God damn it.
Capital G, capital A, capital O, capital T. Period.
He's trying to spell GOAT, capital G, capital A, capital O, capital T. Fucking Floyd Mayweather. Jesus Christ, man. Funny shit. Fucking 50 Cent used to roast the dog shit out of him for that. Anyway, guys, listen. Oh, thank you, Octavia. Listen, I want to read a bunch of your comments, and I want to talk to you guys as much as possible, especially since I didn't even read any comments. I just rambled like the fucking babbling idiot that I am this whole time. But there's something I want to do for my mother tonight, something important. And I have exactly 1 hour and 17 minutes to do it. And I still, I need to take a shower and get dressed and stuff. So, and then I got to try to make it to this place. So, unfortunately, I have to go. I'm sorry. I will do another addiction and recovery show as soon as possible. I promise you that, but I have to cut this one short. Yeah, he will. 50's fucking funny as shit. All right, guys. I will be back on tonight. I have to make money. I have no fucking choice. It's my job. So I'll be on with some shit tonight to entertain you with. I don't know what. We'll wing it. Last few days have been pretty fucking horrible. Last night I understand because it wasn't a regular show, but I got to make some money. I'm behind where I like to be for the month. Just a couple of days ago I was ahead. Now I'm behind. So I got to come on tonight. So I'll see you guys then. All right. Listen, before I go, Miss Campione will fucking kill me if I don't put this up. Write down these numbers: National Addiction Hotline, Suicide and Crisis Lifeline. Keep them with you. Keep them close. Keep them in your, purse, wallet, pocket, man bag, fanny pack, inside the lining of your hat, in your sock, maybe under the insole of your shoe. Get it tattooed on you, whatever. Just keep these numbers close by. Oh, and if you're a kangaroo, keep them in your pouch. Let me see. And get this, guys, please. Nextdistro.org. Please get Narcan. Carry it with you. You might be able to save a life. Anything can happen, and you never know, what you're going to find, what you're going to see. I told you, I've been in a situation where I found somebody ODing from opioids. So please get this. Nextdistro.org. Watch a short video. Fill out a little stupid test, which, you'll know all the answers because you watched the fucking video. Then enter your information, and within a week or two, you will have 4 of these. So get them, please. All right? Look, in honor of MIMS, I ask you that. Should I say I ask that of you? All right, guys, I'm out of here. I love you all, and until next time, salute.